Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome to What We Watch with our wonderful hosts, co host One Take Pod. Hello, hello, hello. How's everyone doing? We're talking Don't Look Up today. Tap in, tap in. Welcome. You're listening to Nicholas Bertel. That was the main title theme, and this is Discovery. Welcome. Share the space. Tap in. We're talking Don't Look Up. Hey y'all. One take. Take it away.
All right, guys. Welcome to the One Take Podcast. Also, What We Watch space doing Don't Look Up, as you can probably tell by the title. The Adam McKay joint. We are joined by Dex, who's on the Apollo account.
What
Less
up,
than
though?
humble Tej. More than humble, less than humble Tej. Tej, how you doing?
What's up, everybody?
And Mo, thanks for having us on. This is going to be like episode, I don't know, 3 that you've been on for us, and probably 95 overall whenever we put it out. So
Heck yeah, heck yeah. Thank you guys. Thank you guys for joining. Again, follow What We Watch Film TV at the top and One Take Pod as well. You just click on our ats in the name. We're going to start off with everything that One Take Pod has to do. If you have not checked out the podcast, please feel free. Again, follow One Take Pod. And this is what we watch. So welcome, welcome, welcome. Go ahead, One Take.
all right, so Don't Look Up, 2021 movie, peak of COVID, came out just a couple days ago on Netflix, about a month ago. Rated hard R, if you don't know, but has a 7.3 on IMDb. It is the number one rated overall popular movie, popularity wise, on that website. The description is: two low-level astronomers must go on a giant media tour to warn mankind of an approaching comet that will destroy planet Earth. Pretty straightforward. It has a 50 Metascore, which, if you don't follow Metacritic, it's pretty high to get a good Metascore, but 50 is not good. It was written and directed by Adam McKay. David Serrata also did the story. Stars one, Leonardo DiCaprio, as well as Jennifer Lawrence. And everyone who has ever been in Hollywood is in this film. Meryl Streep, Kate Blanchett, Jonah Hill, Mark Rylance, Tyler Perry, Ron Perlman, Ariana Grande. The list goes. Kid Cudi's in this movie. The list goes on and on and on and on. It hasn't, of course, made a ton of money because it's a Netflix film. In fact, it hasn't made any money. $782,000 worldwide for this, which is probably a multi-million-dollar film just off the backs of Leo and J Law's salary alone. Here is where it starts to get contentious. 55% on Rotten Tomatoes from critics, 78% from the audience. Don't Look Up aims too high for its scattershot barbs to consistently land, but Adam McKay's star-studded satire hits a target of collective denial square on. And this is a part of our show where we would ask for reviews. So let's start with Apollo. Let's start with Dex. Dex, what did you think about this movie? And I'll get my review here in a little bit.
All right, bet. What up, y'all? I really liked this movie. I didn't think that I would. I thought Adam McKay was cooked. I thought he was washed. Vice was one of the worst movies I've ever seen. So I thought Adam McKay was on some bullshit. And I expected this movie to continue to be some bullshit. But it was actually really good. It was really funny. I enjoyed all the performances. Meryl Streep probably shouldn't have been in this movie just because she's Meryl Streep. But other than that, I thought everybody, did good. Jonah Hill was fucking hilarious. I loved Leo's character. Jennifer Lawrence, I don't like her very much in general, and I feel like a lot of people don't these days, but she's a great actress, and she proved that again. Timothy Chalamet, who we have a love-hate relationship on the One Take podcast. We have a love-hate relationship with Timothy Chalamet. He wasn't bad in this. He was actually all right. I thought it was funny. I thought the satire was pretty perfect, actually. I've heard a lot of people say, oh, it's on the nose. It's too, like real life or whatever. But I appreciated that part of it. Thought it was a great kind of thing to watch as COVID spikes up again. So I appreciated this movie. I'll give it a B plus.
Yeah, I said this was subtle like a brick to the head, to be completely honest with you. But no, we can get into it. On our show. We do A minus or A plus to F minus, I imagine, just like you would get in school. But no B plus or B minus or A plus or A minus is rated the same. It's a varying scale. Don't take our reviews as gospel. But Mo, what do you think about it?
Yeah, thank you. Again, thank you everyone for joining. We're gonna let everybody come up just real quick at the last 30 minutes, give your questions, commentary. I know it's a little different here, but let's get our potting on and you guys can come up at the end. So thank you for joining. Uh, Royden, you made a good point about how much money this movie was was going to make being with Netflix, but I'm going to start off by saying that I'm going to rate it a B minus. Here's the thing: Adam McKay and Nicholas Britell have quite literally never missed for me. And I do mean never. Never, not once. There's not one project that Adam McKay has put out that I've seen that I'm like, oh, no, I can't. No. That being said, again, Nicholas Britell, you guys know how I am on what we watch, and the soundtrack and scores and the sound effects and the composition of every fucking movie makes the movie. This soundtrack was insane. I loved it. And it really just kept me captivated the whole time. Dex, I agree with you. I'm not a huge fan of Jennifer Lawrence. Um, I'll get into it a little later, but I'm just not a huge fan. But for the rest of it, I love the allegory. It's all good. I'm an environmental engineer, so for me, I was like, hell yeah, let them know what the fuck going on and like what actually happens when you mix politics and science, because they're always going to be mixed no matter what in this society. So yeah, that's pretty much my take. B minus. I had a good time. I had a really good time. I mean, I was in a good mood the whole time. When I tell people to watch this movie, it's an incredibly easy movie to watch. You can just have fun with it. So we'll get into it later, but yeah, that's my review.
All right, Tej, go ahead. You Adam McKay stan you.
I do not hide my love for Adam McKay. I love Adam McKay. I love Nicholas Patel. I think the perfect marriage that Mo was talking about with the music and the kind of the content was like they would play the score. The first one she played the opening score, and there are a couple scenes where that score is playing, and then like a joke is supposed to pop, and the music stops right when the joke is supposed to pop. I literally love that. Like that happened like 3 or 4 times. I thought it was perfect. I really enjoyed this movie. Like Royden said, it is not subtle at all, but it's satire. It's supposed to be accessible, and I think that making really accessible satire is extremely difficult. I also think it's really hard in the times that we live in, just because everything is so, left or right. Everything is so, like Vice. Vice is a. I like Vice. I know Dex hates Vice. I like Vice, but obviously, if you were a Republican or voted Republican at the time,
Vice stinks. Sorry.
you probably just would not like Vice. This one is way more accessible on both sides of the aisle, as we would say, and it kind of hits us at the perfect time where we have been quite literally seeing the interplay between politics and science and media in our own lives every day. So the timing of the movie is really cool, but I also think it's pretty funny that like he sat down and they set out to make a movie about climate change, and then because of our experiences in the last couple of years, we immediately saw all the COVID, all the COVID stuff in the movie, which obviously is still in there. But Adam McKay said there was stuff he literally had to take out of the movie, like when it was written, because like either via the Trump thing or via the COVID thing, like stuff that was happening in real life was stuff that was coming out of the movie script, and so he was taking it out because he's like, I can't use like things that are actually happening in my film, which is insane to think about. But uh, I really enjoyed this. I love the Jonah Hill performance. I just love, and I disagree with Dex completely. I thought that what's her face's president was perfect. I loved her character.
You just give Meryl Streep a what's her face? Come on, bro.
Sorry,
Bam.
Meryl Streep. Meryl
Bam.
Streep was incredible in this film. I thought that she was the perfect casting in that play. I was very nervous about a movie that was going to be carried by Jennifer Lawrence because his next two movies are going to star Jennifer Lawrence. Actually, his next movie is going to be about the Theranos lady who lied to everybody about her technology and just got
The
sentenced.
most fake voiced lady on the entire planet.
Yeah,
That's
when you said what's her face, I was like, oh yeah, drag Jennifer Lawrence, but never mind.
Yeah,
Never
so
mind.
Jennifer Lawrence is actually going to star in the next film too, and I think it's really interesting to look at the last four films he's made. Of course, this is the person who gave us Step Brothers and the other guys, but his last four movies have been The Big Short, which is incredible, and then Vice, which obviously there are people that love it. It was nominated for Best Picture, but there are also people that hate it. And then this movie, and then the next movie will be the one about Elizabeth Holmes, I think is her name. And so I really like the space that he's in, where he's giving you. He's kind of looking at kind of like that decay, the kind of that American culture and the things that drive us and the greed and kind of the crossroads that we reach politically. And I'm really interested in seeing what this guy makes next. And it's just crazy that the guy who made Step Brothers, which is the greatest movie of all time, also made this movie. I enjoyed it. I had a great time. Jonah Hill was great. I would give it a solid B.
Don't
right,
forget Adam
hold on.
McKay. Don't forget Adam McKay is our comedian forever. That's where he came from, and that's where he's going to be. So yeah, it doesn't surprise me at all that this guy is making great satire. I love what you said, Teej, that satire that actually sticks and it's easy to digest. And so yeah, for sure.
I want to be as clear as possible. I hate Vice because it's a bad movie, not because I'm a Republican. I am not a Republican. Have never been a Republican. Will never be a Republican. That movie just fucking sucks.
100,
Look, man, y'all are
let
gonna
me,
win the midterms anyway, so you might as
no,
well
let
lean
me,
into it, Zach.
Ain't no y'all,
let
bro.
me
Relax.
ask, let
What are
me
you doing?
ask the audience, 100 emoji if you enjoyed the movie Vice. I need to see the audience here. 100 emoji,
Very
100
interested. Yeah,
emoji.
I'm very
Okay.
interested in
We
this.
got
Peace,
one 100 emoji.
Wow.
You know
peace,
why?
peace emoji if you didn't like the movie.
Y'all don't got love for Christian Bale
And
out
just
here? This is
wave if you
crazy.
haven't seen it.
The movie
Peace
fucking
emoji if
sucks.
you hated it. Wave if you haven't seen Vice. That's a mistake. Okay, we got a few 100 emojis. Yeah, click the heart with the plus if you to find the emojis. Okay, I see a peace sign. Dex, you found your people there.
Damn, y'all hated Vice, or
It
at least didn't
stinks.
see it.
Okay, no, I see a lot of waves. People that have not seen it. Okay, cool. Go
So,
ahead.
yeah, it is me, known Vice hater. That movie. We're not talking about that movie, but that movie stunk, man. That movie, I was so turned off after. I thought after The Big Short, and of course, like he did The Big Short, but the only way he can do The Big Short is if like the other guys has aged like a fine wine for Madam McKay. It it is one of the best movies, one of the best comedies of the last decade, and really not a lot of people talk. And I think it started to become like, oh, no one talks about this movie, but people are talking about the movie by saying no one talks about the movie. But anyway, The Other Guys is one of the better comedies, and the only way he gets to do The Big Short is because you start to see him tackle larger themes in the haha, Will Ferrell comedy, and then all of a sudden he gets to go and do The Big Short. The Big Short is 100 out of 100. It's a perfect film, for me at least. And
We see all the 100 emojis. We agree with you, Royden.
I was so turned off by like I don't have to cape for The Big Short. Like everybody has seen it, but like I was so turned off by Vice because I love The Big Short so much that like going into this movie, I approached it with a ton of caution because even in the trailers, you could say like, and yeah, don't judge a movie by a trailer, but like even in the trailers, you could see like, oh, this is blatant, like the message that they're trying to do here. And yeah, it's satire, like, and should you probably just be blatant with something that we're all going to be dealing with climate change and like, or are dealing with currently? Yeah, probably. But it's like there's a fine line to toe between Hollywood preachiness and making a funny movie. And I think he did a pretty good job here because I went into it going like, oh man, I'm just gonna have Leonardo DiCaprio, who only is on Twitter to tell you that polar bears are dying, come on this movie on Netflix and tell you that polar bears are dying. And I was like, I don't know if it's gonna be good. And it was fun. It was funny. Like I said, it was on Twitter. I said it was subtle like a brick to the head, but I'd be lying to you if I say I didn't have a good time watching it. And like you said, the Jonah Hill character going back and forth with Jennifer Lawrence, I could watch that literally. I could watch an entire show of that, to be completely honest. When he called her the boy with the dragon tattoo, I cried. I thought that was the funniest exchange I've heard in the film.
That was amazing.
I'm Secretary of State. I'm doing pretty well, boy with the dragon tattoo.
Yeah, it was just genuinely hilarious at some points. The tonal shifts, I kind of got it would the whole second act is like a whirlwind in this movie, and then the third act is very just sad and sort of somber, and I guess that's on purpose. But the tonal shifts are like, oh, okay, we have shifted completely because of course the world is ending. But then you end the movie with like them getting eaten by dinosaur aliens on a different planet, and so you're just like, okay. And the editing that McKay does, it worked really well in The Big Short, and it was something that I had never seen. The quick cuts and the cutting it off before the end of the joke, or that is also part of the joke, is really funny. Like when somebody's going to say, "What the fuck," and it just cuts off, is very funny. But like within this movie, it was like almost too quick cutty, and yeah, I don't know. It kind of was jarring. It was kind of jarring in that sense. But other than that, and then Leonardo DiCaprio being like a weird choice at the very beginning of the film to me, where it was like, okay, well, the beginning of the film looks like, if you don't know, Will Ferrell and Adam McKay don't have a production company together anymore. Like they basically got divorced because Will Ferrell wanted to play this role and Adam McKay didn't give it to him. And then the beginning of this movie felt like a role.
I thought it was the Lakers role. That's the Lakers.
Oh, it is the Lakers role. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sorry about that. Yeah, he wanted to play Jerry Buss. I apologize. He wanted to play Jerry Buss, but they don't have a production studio anymore. But I felt like the first start of this movie, I was like, is Leo just doing like kind of like a Will Ferrell, like the Will Ferrell impression that we get from some of his movies, like Everything Must Go and stuff like that, where it's like sad Will Ferrell, like depressed Will Ferrell, and then all of a sudden it kind of, he gets into his rhythm of being, oh, well, he's the hot doctor, and that in itself is very funny bit going down the line that you couldn't have Will Ferrell. And I kind of flipped on how I thought. I give this movie a C plus. I really had a good time watching it. It's not obviously not The Big Short. It's better than Vice. And if you go into this movie thinking that this is more The Other Guys than it is The Big Short, then I think you'll have a better time if you sit down to watch it.
I can't believe y'all all said all that shit and gave it lower grades than I did. Like, this is stunning to me.
Yeah, well,
Adam McKay high was like, nah, this movie.
Wait, I thought, what did you get? I thought I gave it a B. What'd you give it, a B plus?
I gave it a B plus. I gave it a B minus. I almost gave it a B. But this movie isn't gonna stick with me. I rate things high when I'm like, I want to talk about this a lot, right? Like obviously with what we watch, I want to talk about this a lot. I want to tell everybody to watch this movie. I have two things to say. First of all, Adam McKay and Nicholas Britell, the gods, hands down, they made y'all listen to a Chingy song in 2021. And let me tell you something. I don't know how long you guys have been following me on the account, but I'm obsessed with Chingy. I love me a Chingy. Chingy was in my binder, back in middle school, okay? And putting Right There on a soundtrack that's an allegory for climate change, like, your faves could honestly never. So I want y'all to respect.
Was that on your iPod Shuffle?
My iPod Video. Thank you. I was fancy. Yes.
My bad.
The entire all albums. So this is your resident Chingy stan in the building, and Adam McKay and Nicholas Britell respect me and know me very well. So, secondly, Royden, you kind of touched on it, but I really like the end of this movie. I watch these movies hesitantly, right? Because it's like, are you going to go all the way in on making your point? And
yeah, I was like, are they going to kill these people? I don't know.
I'm telling you, you said it perfectly. The other reason why Adam McKay has never missed for me is because a lot of movies fall flat. When we talk about like why we like a movie, I always compare it to like the themes that I see in another movie that I don't like. So just a quick reference for Matrix Resurrections. There was an attempt to kind of attack Hollywood or attack what it means to make a movie and what it means in politics and this and that and the third, and it didn't
Warner
do
Brothers
it right.
Specifically.
Yeah, and it didn't do it properly. So when you were saying that earlier, I was like, yes, this mostly got it right. And spoilers, obviously, guys, if you haven't seen the movie, oh well. But the end. So Adam McKay always does the second act very well, and a lot of movies lose me in their second act, and I do mean a lot, a whole bunch. When I was on the podcast, for Candyman, we talked about this. But Adam McKay never loses me in the second act, and at the very end he committed. And I'm like, this is how you do a fucking movie. Like, commit. Like, don't be afraid. Don't let it be happy ending solution. We find the middle ground, because that's not how it happens in real life. So, yeah. But shout out Chingy.
So I wanted to see. So our highest grade was a B plus, and I cannot wait to hear what people in the audience thought of this movie. But the people that are predicting these things, pretty much all of them are thinking that this is going to be one of the 10 films nominated for Best Picture. So do y'all think that if a movie that the highest grade that the four of us could give was a B plus is going to be nominated for Best Picture, do y'all think this is indicative of the quality of this particular film, or just the quality of whatever slate we're going to get for the Best Picture nominees because of the year that we've had in movies this year? I'm really interested in that conversation.
I think it's both, man, because I'll let Dex say, because Dex, out of anyone, and I'll put it, he's seen more movies than anyone even in this chat. But like, I think it's indicative of one, who Adam McKay is. Obviously, he's got now some huge directorial pull in Hollywood. But two, it's like any other year, I just don't know if this is nominated. But it's got Netflix backing and everything else. So it'll probably be nominated, like Netflix's Lot in Life. It'll be nominated for 1 billion Oscars and win like half of one.
All right, I'm gonna let y'all in on a secret about the Oscars this year. Anybody that you hear covering the Oscars and is like, "Oh, I think I know what's gonna be nominated. I think I know what's gonna win," full of shit. They have no idea whatsoever. They are completely guessing everything. Like, I'm one of those people who follows the Oscar races, is always looking like who do they think is gonna win? Who's doing the best campaign? Reading all the interviews and all this other bullshit. Nobody knows this year. It's a complete mystery because nobody went to the movies this year except for MCU shit.
Except for me. I went to the movies a lot.
Yeah. Me and Mo, we went to the movies. Nobody else did.
I'm the only one that can give you a run for your money on like the most watched movies in the chat. Like, you know how we are.
Yeah. So it's like nobody knows like what the general public is watching, unless Netflix tells us this is the most watched movie they've ever had, which they say about every movie they put out.
I'm surprised this hasn't said. We have had 78 billion streams on this. Like, they're just lying.
Just fucking
lying.
They've
done that with every movie. What did they say that Red Notice had like 1 trillion streams?
Yeah,
nobody watched that.
It's the most watched movie of all
Bro,
time.
Like, I apologize. I watched that movie, but it was a mistake. Go ahead.
Here's what's wrong with America.
I'm so sorry. It was bad. Go ahead.
Yeah,
no, I don't say things are bad, but yeah.
Like I was saying, like, it's just nobody knows what the fuck is happening with the Oscars. All the usual shit that we do to try and predict Oscar races just doesn't work anymore. And so what all the Oscar coverage is doing, they're basically just picking a movie that they see people talk about on Twitter, and they're like, is this going to be the best picture? So, like, people talked about fucking House of Gucci for a week on Twitter, and they were like, is this going to be best picture? Is Lady Gaga going to win every award ever?
She should win every award ever.
She should.
And
then West Side Story came out, and they saw people talking about West Side Story for 2 days, and they were like, is this going to win every single Oscar? And they saw, like, fucking Don't Look Up come out, and people talk about that on Twitter, and they're like, is this going to win every single Oscar? Because they have no idea what's going on. They only know what they read on Twitter. So anybody telling you that they can predict the Oscar races, full of shit. Don't believe them.
They think that they think Leo's going to sneak in. I don't know why this is out there, but there are apparently people who think that Leo is going to be nominated for his performance for Best Actor, which is insane to me. I thought Leo was perfectly fine in this film, but that's crazy to me.
It would be like his lowest. It'd be like J. Edgar when they thought, oh, remember when he was going to win for J. Edgar Hoover, and then nope. Like, it would probably be his lowest rated film. It's one of his lowest rated films ever.
Yeah, and it's to answer Teja's question, and just Dex, I think you said it perfectly. That's what I was thinking the entire time. Like, we're looking at like the Oscars in a pandemic at this point. We're looking at movies in a pandemic. We're looking at theaters in a pandemic and what that means and how people are interacting. And Dex, you hit it right on the money. Like we're trying to see like hashtags and who talks about a movie a lot. That's why you guys are a part of a big movement here, right? Like talking about movies on Twitter is what it is, you know. So again, thanks for tapping into One Take Pod and what we watch because this is what we do. But I think that to answer Tej's question, I guess, I think it's a combination of both. And then you didn't mention the pandemic thing, and that's what Dex hit perfectly. So, yeah, I don't know why. I know that in 2021, this would never win Best Picture for me. This wouldn't even be nominated for me. Because there was some fucking fire, guys, over the last year. Like, it's actually insane. But this was a fun movie. There's a necessity in a market to just be able to watch a fun movie with a fun soundtrack. We got a lot of that in like the 2000s and into the 2010s a little bit. And so I just really like just watching a fun movie with a bunch of big stars, you know. And like
It felt like I'm sorry to interrupt you. It
no,
felt
go
like
ahead.
a Adam McKay throwback to me. That's why I said this is more.
Yeah.
I mean, this is more of his 2003 to 2008 run than it
Thank you.
is
I love
post
when
that with Succession and everything else.
exactly we're aligned there. And I think it's just like, you know, sitting with like how people are consuming media, TV, movies, you know, even our fucking YouTube videos or whatever, like however you're consuming shit now, it's different. You're in a different mental space. So it was a fun watch. And my last thing is the Leo thing is funny to me because Leo is quite literally no longer in his prime. He has a rounder face. I'm partial to jawlines and sharp, angular faces. So he's not that guy anymore. Well, he is, but he's not that hot guy anymore. And
And I
so I
just want to say
really
real
Jeff
quick that
Bezos,
Mo
Jeff Bezos'
represents
girlfriend.
herself.
Yeah,
which
Mo
but
does not represent the official stance of One Take Podcast
yeah,
or Apollo Media. We are
I think
Leonardo
20
DiCaprio
year olds
that's
first
true.
supporters.
dates might disagree
That
with
being
you. Like that.
said, yeah, no, this is
Jeff
me
Bezos'
and what we
girlfriend would
watch.
disagree with you too.
This is me and what we watch. But I love that the movie said, like, this is the hottest guy. And I love that he was the hot doctor, hot scientist, or whatever, right? Like, I love that because I'm like, he's been hotter in like every other movie. But
The
this is where
the
we actually talk
funniest,
about him being hot, which
yeah,
I think you guys, I mean, they did that on purpose. So go ahead.
it was a weird characterization of him because it gave me sort of whiplash with his character because obviously he's this down on his luck, dumpy Michigan State scientist, but it's Leonardo DiCaprio. We all know that it's Leonardo DiCaprio. Obviously, he's got the weird Jack Nicholson beard going on that he has been trying to do for his last 18 movies. But like, we all know it's Leonardo DiCaprio, and then you think he's just kind of this nice sort of dude, and then he just cheats on his wife blatantly and doesn't have any real regrets about it until the very end of the movie when they're going to die. And so I'm just like, it was a wild ride with that character, which I don't know, man. It was
Leo's hotness used to just be, and he's still a very sexy man, but his hotness used to just be standard and accepted. Like, again, I think we're calling back to just the early 2000s and everything that he did before that, too. But, like, in this movie, they were like, no, we're going to talk about how hot he is because we're making him look this way. So we actually have to drive it home. And then so far that we're going to make him cheat on his wife because he could with a quote unquote hotter girl than his wife, you know, or at least presents in a sexier way. She's much more like I really appreciated that character. I don't remember her name in the movie, but I really appreciate how forward she was with her sexuality, and she was just kind of really eccentric and flamboyant, and he's just like this quiet. Like I love that pairing just in general. So it was
she
really
was
cool to
basically
me.
like, can we get past the part where you get to be mad that your husband cheated on you? Like she's broken
Like
up so many
real,
marriages.
real bitch shit.
she has hooked up with 2 former presidents, so obviously Leo had to be hot enough to make her want to look at this guy who's just this random scientist. And also, she's part of the reason why he became bigger. I really like obviously you get some Dr. Fauci vibes when you first start to see
Yes.
him go on TV and start to figure out like, how do you present this stuff when they tell him like, get some media training. And he's just like, wait, why do I have to be media trained? Like all I'm doing is telling people the truth. And it's like, yeah, telling people the truth means nothing. Like what means something is the way that you present it, and I love that kind of that first scene where they're with Tyler Perry, who was incredible in this film, by the way. Tyler Perry was amazing.
Nah, I
When
fully agree, Teach.
he
Fully,
was
fully
Yeah.
agree.
great.
You
I was
basically
very
got
shocked by that. He was
you
amazing.
got Dr. Fauci fucking Megyn Kelly on the side, and then you've got Michael Strahan, Tyler Perry,
I was
just
getting the
sitting there
Michael
in the
Strahan,
middle.
yeah.
I
I
was
was like, this is Michael Strahan, and it's
Hey,
working perfectly.
can this comment land directly on like one house on the eastern seaboard in New Jersey, which happens to be my
It's my
ex-wife's
ex-wife's
house?
house.
I love how Cate Blanchett says like, "Oh, you guys are good. Come on!" Like they had such a good rapport. Like Cate Blanchett was amazing in that role.
Hell yeah, and she was just
Yeah,
announced for another movie.
the cast of characters, out of all the cast of characters, you know who shocked the hell out of me? Ariana Grande was hilarious to me.
born for this shit, bro.
Oh
Born for that role.
When she looked at Leo and told him, "How about you mind your fucking business?" was one of the funniest things. He's like, "I'm sorry about your relationship." He's like, "How about you mind your fucking business?" It was so funny.
Yeah, it's that idea where you think a conversation is going to go somewhere in a movie, and they just like, no, fuck you. We're not going to answer any of these questions that the audience may have, and also that this character may have. No, fuck you. And so, because I low key was committed to the. I'm like, what happened with my girl? What is it, Riley or something? What did they call
Riley
her?
Bina and
Riley
DJ
Bina.
Cello.
I'm like, what happened with my girl Riley Bina and her obvious Big Sean? What's going on?
Obvious Big Sean.
Yeah, they were just like, you know who Ariana Grande is. We're leaning all the way in on that shit. You know.
Right.
Ask her about Mac Miller. You know you want to.
And then they were like, no, we're not going to talk about this anymore. We're just going to have everybody committed to wanting to know.
I will say, no, go ahead, T.
What would that be like? Like these people are going on a television show, which is the most popular television show, to tell everybody that the world is ending, and they're relegated to like the D block right after the biggest person in the country gets back with her boyfriend live on air. Like they have to follow that by telling everybody the world is ending. I just love the way that was written, and the way it played out was so funny. And then obviously you have the Jennifer Lawrence meltdown, which then is followed a couple episodes later or a couple weeks later by the Leo breakdown.
When it's memed, when they're sitting there and they're going through all the memes of her, and he's just like, "Well, I think that's photoshopped," and it's like, "No shit!" Like it's just that is a funny. I laughed at that where immediately she was memed.
Just as
that was pretty on the nose too, because we live in a stupid time, but also like that was one of the things that really caught me. It was like, oh yeah, you're immediately a meme. The world is ending. Like,
and just so you know, a lot of writers, I've been in the rooms a lot too. A lot of writers are like writing that shit into their shit now, because it's like we're gonna have to talk about how social media influences and impacts and is integrated in how we learn about the world news and stuff. So a lot of writers are writing in that scene right there where it's like, you were memed, because that happens with everything, all world news now, there's some sort of meme that's attached to it. So I really appreciated them doing that, because Jennifer Lawrence absolutely would get memed in the real world if this was something that was happening to us.
Mm-hmm.
Like
she got memed when she fell down the stairs at the Oscars. Like, it would have. Absolutely. If she had her freak out.
It's what's happening now. So you're going to see that in movies over the next few years and TV shows. And also, like, there's always going to be the Timothy guy that, like, the little cult or whatever you want to call it, her fan base. Like, there's always going to be that too. Like, no, we love Jennifer Lawrence. That's your Reddit page people right there. Like, yeah, no, we fucking love her.
That's also a hardcore Christian. That was really funny that they built that in. But the thing with that, I will say, where I detract from this movie a little bit, and yes, I get that, like, this feels like it's happening daily, and the ones who actually do control if we get out of climate change or if we find a solution to climate change or not are people like the Mark Rylance character, who was just the Elon Musk type, I guess, because spaceship or cell phones or whoever. They made him do cell phones and not necessarily social media to make it seem like he wasn't Mark Zuckerberg, but it was like the part where they turn the spaceships around, because now we found trillions of dollars on these rocks that we can mine. That's where it sort of was like, all right, like I kind of groaned. I was like,
That felt so real to me, though. I was like, absolutely. Tim Cook, Elon Musk would be like, I need the rights to the minerals on this fucking comet. Like,
No, but if I'd say that, like, we live in a very stupid time that where somebody would say that, definitely, but you would blow up the asteroid. Like, you would blow up the asteroid.
no, you would blow up the asteroid.
I would disagree with you, Roy. Blow up the asteroid.
It's the only way to make it about climate change. It has to bring it full circle. It's not just that climate change, nobody's doing anything about it because the government is stupid. That's part of it, obviously. But it's also like capitalism is driving our decisions to not do anything about climate change. So they had to find a way to bring in that kind of uber capitalist viewpoint of like, oh, look, there's money in destroying the environment, which is what's happening. So we're going to keep destroying the environment. So I knew what they were trying to do. I thought it was kind of like a little ham-fisted for sure, but I definitely think that you had to bring in kind of that capitalistic point. I think my big problem was that I didn't find that character like funny. Like that character was in some like moments where they were supposed to be jokey, but I didn't find the performance funny. I wish that it was funnier.
Yeah, I don't know why you choose Mark Rylance, like known like super serious actor Mark Rylance, to do that.
I mean, I guess I'm gonna just pull my neutral host card here and say like I agree with all of you because like Royden, I'm totally I know
it's the One Take podcast.
I rarely pull it out. I'm gonna pull it out now. Yeah, like I get what you're saying, right? It definitely lost me, but I also agree like that it made sense that they went that route because that's what would happen. Again, this is quote unquote satire. So we have to kind of like commit to it. So yeah, I get it. I also agree with everyone. I didn't want to be the first to say it, so I'm glad that someone did. Like the Mark guy, I wanted it to be so much funnier. Like you have to make that guy extremely fucking funny, and I wanted to laugh. And honestly,
he takes like a dark turn though too when he starts telling Leo like how he's gonna die. Like, I know everything about you and everything that you're going to do. It was like a really serious moment in the middle of
nothing.
This ha-ha comedy. I don't know.
But then you got nothing out of that, right? Like that serious moment was the only serious moment. And it's like, I don't know what you want me to do with this character now. Because if you want him to have these moments, then make him fucking hilarious in every single other one.
Agreed.
And it wasn't working for me. I don't know if it was a casting issue or just a writing. I don't know what it was. But I was like, this guy should be way funnier. And I'm still committed to Jonah and Meryl. Like they made me laugh way more than the Mark guy could have.
Agreed. You know who also made me laugh was it was very on the nose as well, but the Ron Perlman astronaut character where they send him into space to die. he just goes, I want to say hello to all the hardworking white folks out there, and like just all that. It was genuinely like very, and he keeps like calling the people, he keeps yelling at the kids on the lawn and stuff, and they just keep going, well, he's from a different generation.
Yeah, what a year for Ron Perlman, honestly.
He's been a little bit of everywhere. I think that the problem was in the writing. Well, I think it's in the casting and the writing, but I think what they were trying to do is to have him tell Leo that he's going to die alone, and you bring it back, and he doesn't actually die alone, right? He dies with his family and his extended family. He's back with his wife. But I thought that in trying to get that moment where Leo doesn't die alone and he's kind of been quote unquote redeemed, you lost out on some real moments of comedic where you can get some more comedy in there. And I know they're trying to balance it, but I didn't feel like the character on the serious side did enough to be okay with the fact that now we're not watching Jonah Hill make fun of Jennifer Lawrence, which is what I really want to see more of anyway.
I appreciate how y'all are being like real academic and criticky about this Mark Rylance performance when all you really need to say is that dude took way too fucking long to talk, and then I didn't care anymore by the time he finished. That man was the slowest fucking talker of all time. And it was
with his fake teeth.
They did that on purpose, though, right? Like that.
Yes, a horrible choice.
I'm a Matt Bash guy, and here's what is going to happen. I'm like, this should be funny, but I'm not laughing.
I did laugh at, like, the best thing that McKay does with some of his scripts, and you can see it in all of his earlier films, is the side characters talking. When they're all walking off and, like, he's not talking to them, all the kids, and they go, give me the phones. Those phones aren't for you. It was, like, one of the funniest exchanges. Like, and she tries to go, like, you're my favorite, and he just doesn't even acknowledge it. Like, that stuff happening in the periphery of of his films is always the funniest stuff to me. When the assistant, no, those ones aren't for you. Don't take those.
When they went to arrest Jennifer Lawrence and the guy, like the undercover officer, is playing the blind man, I literally fell off my couch. Like, I was laughing so hard because she goes, "What are you, dressed up as a blind guy?" Like, I couldn't. It was just so funny. And I don't think Jennifer Lawrence is that funny, but they put her in really good spots to be funny. I don't think that she has like what I would consider comedic timing. But like, I thought they put her in spots where it was just like everything was around her was so funny that she couldn't not be funny. And I thought that was,
I mean, she did her
really
best
good
Silver
writing
Linings
and directing
playbook in this, which I know people don't like that, but like she did her best Silver Linings playbook, which she won the Oscar for. So
we gotta have the Jennifer Lawrence conversation. Last night on the podcast,
Let's do it.
We had the Timothée Chalamet conversation, and we were like, okay, is he actually good? Not that good. Jennifer Lawrence, where are we at? Is she good? Is she great?
Not that good.
What are we doing?
I like her.
Is this, for me, this was one of her, like, maybe recency bias, I don't care. Maybe one of her top few performances. I don't care.
Agreed.
Honestly, I like to see her in these moments where she's getting made fun of the entire time, because honestly, same, I would too. And like, why does her hair look like that? Like, I'm glad that you drove that home, because like, again, I would too. And like, she just, like you guys said, like, she's just getting made fun of, and she's doing that character really well. And then she has those moments where she gets her jabs in and no one gives a fuck. It's that Family Guy thing. Again, Adam McKay does it too a lot in Succession. Like, there's those moments where she gets her bars off and like the audience laughs, but everyone else is like, who cares? You're just a white girl in a mullet with a mullet, like, or whatever you got going on here with the bangs and shit. So I don't know. Top five performances for me. But that probably speaks to what you're saying, Dex, which is maybe not that good.
I'm with y'all on that one. I really like her in this role, but I'm not a big Jennifer Lawrence fan.
She fell victim to, she's only like 32, I believe. So she fell victim to, like, she got super famous super fast, like, with the Hunger Games films, which I think are objectively very good. And then, of course, like Silver Linings Playbook, people take that or leave it. But I actually really enjoyed that film. Maybe it was because I was like 18 when I watched it, and it was like baby's first cinema when I went to see it. But yeah,
I'm sorry.
yeah, she got super famous super fast off of that stuff because she was like in like the Bill Engvall show on TBS, and then she got Hunger Games. So it's like, she.
I don't know, Royden. I've seen super famous super fast done really, really well. I've seen some super famous super fast actors go off. So I don't know.
Zendaya's been famous her whole life, and she's great.
Yeah, but Zendaya's not winning multiple Oscars. You know what I'm saying?
Like, not yet. Not yet.
I know, but it's a different thing. Jennifer Lawrence, we were like, she's the next GOAT. She's the next GOAT. She's the next GOAT. And everyone was like, I'm good.
But why did getting that many Oscars? Was the next GOAT? She was never the next GOAT.
Yeah, she did. She won an Oscar. She was nominated at like 20 for The Winter's Bone, which is actually a very good movie if you've seen it. But then she wins for Silver Linings Playbook. Then she's nominated again for American Hustle. Then she's nominated again for Joy. So it's like, yeah, the Oscars love them some Jennifer Lawrence, like her or not.
I got my take. Jennifer Lawrence is an industry plant, bro. First of all, Silver Linings is mid at best, and American Hustle is awful. I don't know where this came from. Like, I was never in on it. I was never in on the Jennifer Lawrence. She's no Florence Pugh. Florence Pugh is about 19 levels above her at the same age. I just don't understand how we got there.
Now we talking. Now we potting.
Hashtag support Florence Pugh, baby. But anyway, yeah, I think Florence Pugh might catch the same thing if this keeps going like it's going, because she's got all this MCU shit, and then she's going to get Oscar nominated in the next couple of years for either Don't Worry, Darling or something else, because she's every fucking where. So we gonna see if this is a Jennifer Lawrence problem or if this is a young white woman who Hollywood likes problem, because Florence Pugh's gonna be the test case.
The test case for that. I don't know. Who was y'all's favorite side character in this? Because it's filled with a bunch of unlikable people on purpose. But like, this is the best I think I've seen. I mean, Jonah Hill's like directing and everything, but this is the funniest like Jonah Hill's been in a while too. But of course, he's done this in like
he was
a few Leo films now, like Wolf of Wall Street and other things like that.
I want to be clear. I quote Jonah Hill in Superbad to this day. Okay. To this day, it's natural conversation.
Superbad states secretly.
to this day, and I'm like,
No, it
not
doesn't, but
a
that's fine.
white.
You can eat that take.
What did you
Wait,
just say,
what did
Dex?
that just say?
What did you just say,
Dex
Dex?
said that Superbad stinks secretly.
No,
No,
we
it
can't
does
go
not.
back.
No,
We
it
can only look
doesn't.
forward.
It's
We
literally the
cannot
most
not doing
perfect
move back.
It
movie.
is.
We're not
It is
doing this.
It is literally a perfect
That
film.
view does not represent what we watch. No,
That
Superbad
also
is
does not
perfect.
represent the one take pod. That is awful. That is really bad.
No, it absolutely no. So my favorite side character was the guard charging people for snacks. Real hustler representation. Shout out to you, my guy. Charge them motherfuckers. Okay, go ahead.
That was a funny through line throughout where she could not get over why they would charge them for snacks. He's like, it was $10, and she goes, "Oh, it's free. It's the White House." Like that was just a really funny.
My
bit
guy made a
throughout the
quick
entire-
come up before the world ended. Good for you, baby.
But yeah, the best side character is definitely Jonah Hill. He literally everything he said was hilarious to me. Dude did not miss the entire movie. Even at the end where he's just like, "Mom, like is she coming back?"
She's coming back.
When he
And
is talking about Leo's breathing when Leo was trying to deliver the news to the president, and he's just like, I'm sorry, the way that you're breathing, it's just really distracting. Like I was laughing so hard at that scene.
And yeah, it was a thinly veiled Trump Jr. thing, but it was also like it was very, very written very funny, but it was just like when he was sitting there and he's like when he was just calling them poor to their face, their voter base. Just like he was like, and you, the poor, help us, the rich, and then the other guys, we're against them. And it was just like it was very, very funny and well done. But yeah, when he's sitting there and he goes, Michigan State, and he's like, come on, you gotta like yell or something like that.
This is the part where I want to give love to the most underrated performance in the film, which was Meryl Streep. When they do the "Don't Look Up" thing, and then Meryl Streep says, "I know why they want you to look up because they think that they're above you." Like it was just delivered so perfectly. I can't believe that you don't like her performance in this film. I thought she was hilarious.
It's not that I don't like her performance. She's Meryl Streep. She's the GOAT. She's good in basically everything ever. But I just felt like she shouldn't have been in this movie. Like,
why not?
It just feels like this movie is beneath the GOAT. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I see
why are you showing me Meryl Streep's naked ass? Like,
yeah,
why
I didn't need to see Meryl Streep naked. I did not need that.
With her butterfly tramp stamp.
I did not need that.
Nah, y'all gonna let Meryl Streep cook. Let her cook.
It's a body double, so we still haven't seen Meryl Streep naked ass. But still, like,
you know she's that
Meryl
girl.
Streep naked ass.
Everyone knows she's that girl, so she can do these little roles.
Yeah, let her have some fun.
It's like when you retire and you want to start having a little fun. Let her cook. Let her cook.
She looked like she was having the time of her life on that movie set. Like
out here breath-farting, trying to see if she still got it.
And my girl looked good too. She looked a little bit younger than she is, so good for her. I don't know. I enjoyed it.
What smoking will do for you, apparently, according to the movie. Her polling numbers went up when she started smoking cigarettes.
We're going to start taking comments and questions in about 10 minutes. So thank y'all for joining. Tap in, share, and hashtag what we watch, and definitely follow One Take Pod. I love these guys, and we always have a good time. But go ahead, TJ, what were you going to say?
Do y'all think so? At the beginning of this, everybody kept saying how much fun they had. And Mo, I think you especially said, like, this is just a fun movie. Is this just a fun movie, though? Because it's obviously the intent of this film is not just for you to have a good time. It's for you to have a good time, but it's also supposed to be it's like they literally say in the film, like when they're talking to Tyler Perry and Cate Blanchett, they literally say, we like to have a little fun at this show because it helps the medicine go down, which is literally the mission statement of the film. So do you think that this, all they accomplished was just some fun, or do you think that it is something that will make people, at least for 10 seconds or for an hour and a half or however long, think about the bigger problems and the bigger issues in our American democracy and the way that we consume media? Do you think that it only gives you some fun? And like Mo, you said you're not going to be thinking about it later. Do you think that most people won't be thinking about it later? Because obviously he has higher aspirations for this film than just for you to laugh at like the other guy.
I guess I can have fun because I'm already smart and kind, and so I already know how fucked up shit is.
I'm smarter and better than everyone, so
yeah, no. No, I don't know, and that's why it's so cool to talk to everyone and see how they feel, right? Like, I guess let me ask the audience: did y'all have fun watching this movie? Like, 100 emoji if you had fun watching the movie. I had a good time, and I think that's a great call out. I had my here's going to be an Inception, which is an Inception of Inception. I had my Leo Cat moment where I pointed at the TV when they were saying things that they were trying to say in this movie about who we are as a thing. I was like, yes. Oh, help the medicine go down. Which, this is what I'm doing by watching this movie. This is awful. We're about to hit the second part. We just hit another peak in this pandemic. No one's going to listen. And here we are. Help the medicine go down. Because I'm going to sit at my house and watch movies. Like,
Did you get red pilled? Is that what you're saying?
I got red pilled. Definitely. Yeah. So, I'm going to stick to my guns. I had a good time. I did need the medicine to go down, but I also don't need movies to tell me or to force me to research and study and try to talk to people about how fucked up shit is. So
yeah, I think this reached its audience. The people who watch this are not their audience that McKay is trying to reach. To be completely honest with you, and I get that it's on Netflix and it's like the most easily accessible form to reach this, but I think people are very much know what side of the aisle that Adam McKay and Leonardo DiCaprio and the Hollywood people in this movie are in. So I don't think anybody that listens to Alex Jones or watches Tucker Carlson is gonna log into this movie and be like, you know what? I learned a lesson.
Right.
No, it's not. It just I hate to generalize.
And if you do listen to those podcasts,
it just is true.
I love that you said that, because I think that you were right. I think that there are certain people that are not going to click play on an Adam McKay movie. But I think that the movie it's literally supposed to be a movie where we can all, quote unquote, come together, both sides of the aisle, and watch the movie and take away the message. But I think you're right. Your reputation precedes you. When your last film was Vice, a movie that you made about Dick Cheney, which pulled no punches, whether you think the movie is good or not. It's obviously not like a very positive picture of Dick Cheney. So maybe certain people are not going to sit down and watch this movie, even though this is pretty much like an SNL skit about climate change. And really, there are some moments in the movie where you feel like he's picking a political side in terms of a conservative versus liberal viewpoint. But I think he tried to write a movie that was kind of like we could all come together and laugh at ourselves and not really have to argue about the scene where Jennifer Lawrence goes to her parents' house and they're like, "Sorry, we are for the jobs the comet will provide. We don't want to talk about politics." I think he was trying to write a movie. I think he realized I could sit here and write a movie from my own political perspective all day. And in some regards, that's what every director and everybody who's ever written a movie is doing. But I think he tried to sit down and write a movie that wasn't a Republican versus Democrat, wasn't a movie that only Democrats could watch. Yet, like Royden said, maybe only Democrats would click play on a movie like this in the first place. And people, if you're a climate change denier, maybe you would never click on a movie like this in the first place anyway.
The part about this, though, that I have to get back to, speaking of your Captain America moment or whatever, was Chris Evans is literally in this movie.
And he was hilarious.
And he does I made a movie for both people, for both sides of the aisle. It's like, I'm not for or against the comment. It's just that was a really funny bit that they did in the movie. And then but you say that, and then at the very end of the movie, they have the people in the literal red hats that say "look down" and everything else that say, and when they look up and they see the comet coming down, and he's like, they lied to us. It just was okay, yeah.
That's true.
I just hope that y'all are ready.
People rednecks, when they're throwing bottles at him, he calls them rednecks. So obviously, it has some jabs at the right. So you're right. Maybe the right is not watching this movie at all, so it wouldn't reach them in the first place.
Yeah. I just hope that y'all are ready for some awards show. I don't know which one it's going to be, but some awards show this year is going to pay Ricky Gervais $1 million to come and host their award show and talk shit about Don't Look Up and how political every movie is yet again. For the 17th year in a row, Ricky Gervais is going to make $1 million on politics and award shows. Just be ready.
Brother. First of all, what the hell is
Ricky Gervais pulling no punches at the 2022 Oscars ceremony.
What the hell is this, Dex? Take this tweet down out of our space right now.
No, we can't say
what's happening.
We have to spread the truth about Superbad.
This
is
not
nearly
the
as
truth.
good as you
Superbad
remember.
is great.
No, I mean, it is.
I watched it. Yes, it is. I watched. I
Dex
watched
was
that
like 9 when
movie
this film
maybe
came out.
3 months ago. I was
Dex
too. I
was
don't
like
care.
9 years
This
old. That's
movie.
ridiculous.
Me too. This movie's perfect. This movie's perfect. But anyways,
Trash.
this movie being super bad, not Don't Look Up. But Don't Look Up was fun. I had a good time.
Don't Look Up is better than Superbad. Hot take.
I mean,
Okay.
that
All
is
right. Now tweet
Stop
that.
this right now.
Tweet
Stop
that right now,
Stop this.
and let's get
We're
it
gonna pack you
popping.
up. We're gonna pack you
All
up if
right.
you tweet that.
This is ridiculous. Yeah, y'all need to come up here and tell
Tweet it
Dex
from Dex
he's
Stay
wrong.
Dead so we can block you again.
We're gonna require every person to come up here and say which one was better, Don't Look Up or Superbad, and then you can get your bars off. I'm not having this. I'm not having this. What is happening here?
They're trying to silence me because I'm right. You see what's happening?
No.
I'm
Not
the
the
judge of the Lawrence
bipartisan,
right now. The
not the
world is ending.
bipartisan approach in
And
the
Don't Look
space.
Up.
Oh
Don't Look
no!
Up is trash. Not trash. Superbad is trash. Don't
Nope,
Look Up is
Freudian.
good.
I love that for
It's a
us.
Freudian slip. You know
Oh,
Hey.
we
what
love
you're
this
doing.
Freudian.
They're
for
trying
us.
to silence me. They're gonna make memes and T-shirts, and
I
then one
am.
day you're gonna see a giant comet hitting the earth that says "Superbad is garbage." All right?
Jonah Hill was in his super bad bag in this movie, and I love, like, how many actors do you guys know that, like, every line they deliver in a movie is fucking hilarious? Like, come on now. You're not seeing that.
He was
Stop
really
playing
shooting
with
like 100% from the field. Like
100%
every time he
from
opened
the
his
field.
mouth, it was hilarious. Like he was
Exactly.
Also, also the story of him telling Meryl Streep that she was the goat and she not knowing what the goat meant. She like thought
Yes,
she was
the
literally
the mother-son moments were incredible. The Leo just easily getting his wife back was also hilarious to me, because like every other movie has like had entire plots based off of like the guy that cheats and tries to get his wife back, and this movie was like, no, sometimes let's get over.
the world's ending. Like,
the world's
whatever.
ending. Well, yeah, like let's get
But
to
it
it.
was-
So I really,
it was
Yeah,
I
what
really-
else you got to go
funny.
do?
It
We
was
making
funny.
dinner.
He
He goes,
spend the last day
I
of
had
life
sex with what's his face when we were dating in college, and he was like, oh, okay.
yes, and so to get her little jab back, like, I cheated first, like, you cheated second, sweetie. Bloop. Like,
Yeah.
I loved it. It was good for me. And the bash approach, again, for me, that fell flat. I don't know why. Maybe because of the Mark character, but like, I get, like I said, I think it was T saying earlier, like, they had to do that. Like, I appreciate them including that, because that is what happens. First, we need to try to make money off of whatever is happening. So here's the thing. But I think they made it too long. Like, we had a lot of scenes where I felt like I was in Avatar when they were like trying to explain how the shit worked and what it would look like, and like what we're gonna do to destroy a whole, civilization. And like, it was a lot, but it was necessary. So
It definitely could have been a shorter movie. I was the second time I watched it, I was pretty surprised. It's like 220. I was pretty
yes,
surprised. This should be an hour 45 minutes.
this is
Yeah.
a 90-minute movie, and I saw.
That's kind of thus
Go
is the burden for Adam McKay films. To be
That's
completely
true.
honest
That
with
is
you.
true. That is true.
No, I think
We got
I
more
think my-
Superbad slander rolling in. Just want to point out, everyone take
Oh my
note
God.
that I
Oh
am
my
right.
God.
I am winning.
This
Justice
is
and
like
the
two
truth
people out of
Share
are
the
winning.
tweets. I'm
people
about
out
to
of
start.
30.
I'm about to start sharing my tweets. This is ridiculous. This is
Okay,
absurd.
so at the very end of this movie, and then we'll get questions in about like 2 minutes. But at the very end of this movie, what did y'all think about like the complete 180 from having this sort of somber moment where they all pray together and come together? What did you think about that shift, and then going back to her getting eaten by a dinosaur on an alien planet 22,000 years later? Like, what do we think about how this movie wrapped?
I was appreciative that they tried to do a moment of levity. Like I don't think you like if you take a movie like This Is the End, which is a great film. I'm not shitting on it. It's like the end of it's like the extinction of humanity is happening, but it's all played as a joke. Whereas I thought if you're going to make a movie that is ultimately about climate change, you have to have some moments of levity. You see, like when he was splicing scenes, he would show animals, he would show babies. You have to show what the stakes are. Like if we don't fix this very real problem, this very real comet that's heading towards us, then this is the cost. So I appreciate that he tried it, but I just wanted to get back to having fun. So I'm glad we got back to Meryl Streep getting eaten by a dinosaur, if I'm being honest.
Here's the thing, and I said this in the beginning. Commit. I need movies to commit. Life often doesn't have any solutions, and like shit actually goes the way that someone that was right goes, and like shit gets fucked up. So I'm really glad that they did that. and I'm sorry, but we're not going to gloss over the praying scene. I was crying laughing at that scene because it was so obviously not something that those people wanted to do. And it was
Yeah,
just like, we were watching this whole movie and they're like, let's pray. And I was
They didn't even
fucking
know how to pray.
screaming.
The wife was like, I don't know how to do that. Like, what do we do? I don't know how to do that.
I don't know who to give this to, but like maybe it's like because Adam McKay did Talladega Nights, right?
Yes.
He has the scene there too where they're like fucking praying, and it makes me scream. So you know me, I'm always gonna find a parallel, and I was just dying laughing at that. But like, I'm just so glad that the ending committed, right? Like, please just like the whole time I was like, okay, here's the quote unquote problem in the movie, and then there's always a solution, or there's always oh, we're gonna meet in the middle. And this movie was like, no, the problem is going to happen. Like, no, y'all aren't listening, and the world's gonna end. And I was just like, that's what made the movie good to me. That's why I'm not going to say that this is bad. Whether anybody's going to change their mind or sit with it longer and look at it teach like you were asking, I don't know that that's going to be a thing. I'm just glad that the world actually ended in this movie. Big spoiler alert. Like, yes, that's how the shit works. Okay.
Yeah.
Let it be.
And before we go, one more thing. Can we talk about Rob Morgan's hairpiece in this?
Yes.
What
yes,
was that?
please.
What was that?
That was not good. I don't know why they did that to that guy.
Oh shit, we didn't even talk about Jennifer Lawrence's boyfriend or ex-boyfriend, writing a whole thing about her.
That was perfect.
Oh, I slept with
That's
her.
exactly
whatever.
what would happen. If your
Exactly.
I
girlfriend
would have
all of
done
a
that
sudden
same
gets
shit.
famous,
Real talk.
and your girlfriend's get wait, Dex, what?
Dex, please, man.
I would have done the same shit. If
Dex's takes do not reflect the takes of the One Take podcast.
Yes,
by
they
the way.
do.
Dex is
Yes,
all
they
over
do.
the place right now.
if my girlfriend became a meme that was telling everybody the world was gonna end, and I knew she was right, so nothing matters anyway, I'm grifting the fuck out of that as long as I can.
You're writing a whole journalistic piece about your relationship with her.
Absolutely.
You're one of those that the people that after someone, sorry if this is morbid, but after someone dies, they eulogize them like, oh, I used to talk to her. I used to talk to him.
Nah,
Dex, that's you, Dex.
I can't believe
alive.
that I ignored your DM when you tried to hang out with me.
Just
R.I.P.
as
Now
bad.
we can't hang out. That's Dex now.
Be shaking hands with Nancy Reagan at certain times after the world blows up.
Relax. All I'm saying is, if the world is going to end anyway, and we going through some things, my mama don't like you anyway, I'm at least get some bread before we go. Maybe I'm just built different. Maybe y'all are some broke boys who are just
wow.
No, here's
y'all are
the
getting
thing.
your paper, but I'm gonna get mine.
We're gonna talk about exes because that was a huge theme in this movie. A bunch of exes. Yeah, we're gonna talk about it. Now you gotta come up here and also talk about what Dex just said there, guys. So the super bad comment and this whole how are you treating
I can't believe Dex. I can't believe
bro, we are not turning the spaces
Yes,
into
we are.
Yes, we are. Oh, we absolutely are. We've got the time.
We're not putting me on trial.
I slept with the meme girl on ApolloHOU.com coming up after this.
Hey, ApolloHOU.com, Houston Style Magazine, YouTube. Check me
Before we
out.
get into comments and questions, I'll let Royd and Clark.
I slept with an annoying girlfriend, says Dex in 2007. Sorry.
No, I'll let get.
Uh-oh.
Hello?
Bring some people
Can
up,
y'all
Mo.
hear me?
Now.
Okay, before we get the questions and comments, I'll let Royden close it out for the podcast, for your podcast standards. I just want to say one last thing. This entire movie is hot science representation, hot STEM representation. And so it was near and dear to my heart. And hot scientists and hot STEM majors and hot, all of us turn up. This is how we do it. And we be right. And if you don't listen to us, the world may end. So congrats on that.
Think about the polar bears, guys, and the turtles. Just kidding. You just have to lobby billionaires because they're the only ones that can actually fix this. So the thing with us, you can follow us at One Take Podcast, One Take Podcast on Twitter, One Take Podcast on YouTube, One Take Podcast on Instagram, as well as TikTok, because I hate myself and I will eventually post on that as well, because we are all sellouts. But you can also follow us at Apollo HOU on Twitter, Twitch, Instagram as well. You can follow Les Humble Teej, Dex Ain't Dead, and What We Watch for sure. Because come follow us, we are going to do our top top 5 movies and TV shows of 2021 of the past calendar year. So thank you so much for following us and liking and subscribing. Our last film review was The Matrix, which is a not good movie. Not the original Matrix, the last Matrix, which stunk. Matrix 4 stinks, by the way. So go listen to that as well on Spotify and Apple. So yeah, Dex, Tej, anything?
Thanks for having us, Mo. We love working with what we watch. We be in these rooms anyway. This is amazing. Can't wait for y'all to come up. I cannot wait to hear your thoughts on the movie.
Yeah.
Jennifer Lawrence's boyfriend was right, and hashtag support Florence Pugh. And Superbad is bad. That's all I got to say.
Those,
I'm gonna cut that out.
those, yeah, we'll cut that out. We'll cut that out of this recording too. Thank you guys. This is my third time. I did Candyman and I did Squid Game. Oh shit, those were fire. We've had some great collabs. Then you guys jumped in the space of the Squid Game too that we did, so that was amazing. So guys, let's take some questions. Follow One Take Pod. Follow What We Watch Film TV. And I see some guys up. We are ready to go. Welcome, Jamel. Welcome, Javon.
It also doesn't have to be questions. If you just want to come up and say something, you don't have to ask these questions.
Yeah, if you want to tell Dex, tell Dex he's wrong,
tell Dex he's bad and wrong.
Just say Dex is wrong. Like, that's fine. Come up here and say Dex is wrong, and then leave. That's it. It's fine. Go ahead, Jamel.
Hey, everybody. Thank you for once again, Mo. Your hosting abilities are chef's kiss. It was nice to hear from One Take Podcast for the first time. I never really got to listen to you guys, and I'm not really a podcaster anyway, but I love what I'm hearing so far. On the movie, I already said it when I retweeted out Mo's Space in the first place. I did not like this movie at all. It was not an enjoyable experience. I had to actually watch it, and like Mo did with Matrix, in pieces. The first time I shut it off. There's a particular thing with Adam McKay where I'm more of a person that liked his earlier stuff than I like much of his later stuff. And that has to do with where his style to me works and where it doesn't work. And more importantly, and to the point of the main thing that stood out about this movie, with whom he's working with and where it doesn't work. Because as he moved away from some of his people, one of the main ones being who you guys mentioned at the start, Will Ferrell, then it felt to me as if I started to learn that maybe he's not that great either in his cast department or he himself. Because a lot of these people in this movie, as a matter of fact, I don't really, maybe like as you went down the line, but I mean, I'm talking about almost every single one of the people in this movie. I did not like them in the roles they were playing. I do not believe Leonardo DiCaprio as anybody's professor. I don't believe Leonardo DiCaprio is anybody's everyman. He has the movies where he is at his absolute best is when he's playing outlandish, crazy, off the top people like Calvin Candy and Django and Wolf of Wall Street Jordan, whatever his last name was. And then with Jennifer Lawrence, I'm with the crowd that what you guys were speaking on about her. There's been places where I'm like, I can see why people think she's so good. And then there's other spots where I'm like, this is cat right now. And Jonah Hill, let me just say this. I've never liked him. Just cannot get into his style of comedy.
All right, that's enough.
Yeah.
That's enough from you. Boo, tomato. What is happening here?
Yeah, people are telling the truth. It's time to let you guys know, man. Y'all been capping for that dude. That dude is stick. He is one thing only all the time, and it's just subjectively not my tea. Like for Steve Martin, for instance, when I watch,
you have 100-mile-per-hour fastball, you don't need to develop a curve that often.
I'm sorry, I don't think it's 100-mile-an-hour fastball. That's a fact. When you spin that ball, somebody looks at it and can objectively say that's 100 miles an hour. That's not what he's doing. To some people, it's gonna feel like 100 miles an hour. The other person I'm looking at, it's like that shit hit the dirt.
That's crazy. But
hey,
I mean,
look, I just want to say that I appreciate that you're on the right side of history about Superbad.
All right.
We're not on the same page about Jonah.
This is absolutely
21 Jump Street and 22 Jump Street.
Thank you.
Hilarious.
Manifested this in our
I'm about to be the bad guy of everybody because I can't go as far as to say that Superbad is better than this movie. Superbad
Wow.
is a solid
There
movie to
you
me.
go.
Kick him out.
Thought you had a friend,
Yeah,
Daddy.
yeah.
Dunked on your
There's
ass,
other
Thank,
there's other people in Superbad.
thank you so much, Jamel. And I really appreciate it. I'm glad someone didn't like this movie. You know how I am. I love when we can disagree, and I love when people tell me why they didn't like something. But okay, yeah, I appreciate that. You're wrong about Jonah, but I was very curious as we were talking about it again. The highest rating that we gave it was a B plus. That was by Dex. The lowest was a Roy. Did you give a C minus or a C plus?
I
C
think I
plus.
gave it a C plus.
C plus. That was the lowest, and so it looks like Jamel might have given it a little even lower one. And so we've got one. Who's tallying these up? We got one. Super bad is better than Don't Look Up, so that's the correct answer. Geraldo, welcome. What's up, baby?
Hey, just to full disclaimer, oh well, not disclaimer, but just to start off, Superbad is way better than Don't Look Up. I just wanted to, that's your opinion, but
Dex,
yeah, I just wanted to start with that. Something that the last person that was here said that I completely agreed with was about Leonardo's casting in this role. I don't think he had a really good performance in this role. And honestly, I just don't think that this role was for him. I understand why they casted him though, because he does do a lot of like philanthropic sustainability stuff, like for the environment and his personal life. So I feel like that's why Adam McKay really wanted him for the role, because I believe like reports said that like he rewrote this story because he wanted Leonardo to take it so badly or something like that. But like I just don't see Leonardo DiCaprio being this like at home teacher or like professor. Like for example, like why did his sons look like his brothers? I was so confused. Like his sons looked his age. Like I was like, what is going on? Like when he was with that woman, I was like, no shade, but I was like, I can never imagine like Leonardo DiCaprio with this woman, like his wife. Like honestly, I was happy he was cheating. Like I was like, yeah, go on,
God
bro.
damn.
Wow.
I was
Okay.
gonna be
It
the
was
worst person
getting
on this
no, like
podcast. Holy shit.
it was getting so ridiculous. Like I was like, no. He was probably the poorest cast person in this movie. I think Jonah Hill was great. His character made sense for the role he was playing. Like him as just like an actor. Jennifer Lawrence was okay. I think I don't know. I just feel like also I really want to talk about like maybe further down the line like the whole like Jennifer Lawrence hate train and like why people don't like her in Hollywood, because I feel like I have an idea as to why. But other than that, I thought she was okay. Overall for the movie, I think it was a solid movie. My whole thing was I just thought it ran for too long. Like I was just like, this movie shouldn't be over 2 hours. And you could feel that drag on as you were watching it. So yeah, those are my hot takes.
Thank you, Geraldo. Yeah, go ahead, Dex. You see that's you 2-0 right now, my guy.
Hey, we gotta roll back real quick though. Are you saying you think people don't like Jennifer Lawrence because you got like some insider info, or you just like you got some like theory or something? Like some shit, or you guessing? What we got?
You don't have to answer that, Geraldo.
He's seen many a Reddit thread as to why Jennifer
you don't have to
Lawrence
answer that, Geraldo.
I can though.
No, I'm just curious.
If
I'm
you
not
want.
trying to call you out or nothing. I'm just like,
no.
What we got?
Well, there's your answer, Dex. No, go ahead, Geraldo.
I mean, okay, well, it's actually a topic was going kind of viral on TikTok a couple of days ago, and I commented on it. It's basically people are calling it like the Jennifer Lawrence pipeline, where it's like you're this it girl actress, right, who is like the biggest thing, and like Jennifer Lawrence was definitely the biggest thing during like her whole Hunger Games, Silver Linings Playbook era. And then so basically you're on top of the world, and then like all of a sudden you get all this praise, all this attention, and then all of a sudden people just hate you, or like people just like you fall from grace, right? And I think that that's just like it's like the popular kid in high school who like peaks in high school, and then like all of a sudden nobody really likes them like that anymore, because there will
She
always
did
be
this.
another
Royden
popular
was
kid.
talking about this earlier. Royden,
Yeah, she
you,
did
man.
this thing. Sorry to interrupt you, but she did
Yeah,
this
of
thing
course.
where she got super popular, obviously, and she was making huge salaries per movie. She was in X-Men movies, she was in all this other stuff, and obviously Hollywood liked her. But she did this thing, and that's fine. But she's like, I'm not like all the other Hollywood elite. Like, I'm a normal person. Like, I like pizza. And you're just like, okay.
Yeah.
Like, people kind of try to sell her on the I'm a normal person. Well, you're not. You're a movie star. Like,
Yeah.
be a movie star. You know what I mean? She did the whole,
She went
like,
too far with that.
Me and Amy Schumer are best friends, and da 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 da. We're so quirky because
Yes,
we like
that's exactly what happened.
The shtick
that shit was
wore thin on all of us. Where the appeal of Hollywood started to come off a few years ago, and the sheen of Hollywood. And so it sort of wore thin with a lot of people, where it's just like, oh my eye roll moment with all that stuff. Yeah,
and
that's what I think.
Mm-hmm. And like, from just last part, like, people have been suggesting or like theorizing who that will happen next to, like, who are the it girls that will like fall from grace in a couple of years. And like, people mentioned her in the podcast, Florence Pugh. She's definitely an it girl right now, like with the whole Marvel, and I believe I don't know what else she's doing now.
Zach Braff, what? Sorry.
Huh?
All right, buddy.
No, it's true. It's Zach Braff. That's what she's doing.
Canceled.
Oh, well, yeah. But like,
he got canceled though, right? Like,
what's going on, Royden?
Zach Braff is canceled.
I'm telling you, that's just like you
need to be on
TikTok. Like 45.
Royden, I just want you to know, you said you were going to be on TikTok. You said One Take Pod is on TikTok. These are the things you got to know, buddy. All right? Hidalgo's here letting you know that there's some Jennifer Lawrence takes on TikTok. We're here to tell you, Zach Braff, TikTok. Get with it, man.
Sorry. My bad.
All right. Well, that's all I really had, but I'll jump in if something else comes up.
Thank you so much, Geraldo.
Let's get Derek in here, a long time contributor to our podcast. If you
Perfect. Hey, Derek.
Oh my
gosh! Not shit on Superbad, Derek. If you shit on Superbad, I will be so angry.
Well, hello. My name is Derek Foltz, long-time caller, first-time listener. I do want to say, Dex's takes do not represent the One Take podcast. Right now, they represent all of Apollo Media. So I think that's a much bigger problem that you guys have to take care of.
Yes, 1,000%.
Josh is on here. Josh, can you help us?
Personally, I think that both Superbad and Don't Look Up are 7 tons of ass. But that's just me.
Oh, no!
That's just me.
What is happening?
We sat here for an hour just being like, this movie's pretty funny.
Ridiculous.
I laughed at so much. And then three straight people came out like, both these movies fucking
Guys,
suck.
just so you know what we watch loves. Remember, we have guests on the podcast. Like, these are guests. These are guests on the spaces. We love Superbad. Okay. No, go ahead, Derek.
Superbad. I was going to say, I mean, this is not the first time that the One Take Pod guys have made fun of me directly on their podcast, so I'm used to it.
We have done that, sorry.
Yeah, no, same with me. Go ahead.
This movie is just like, it just screams like neoliberal Dear Theodosia in the Congress Hall. Like, it's so like, it feels pandery to me. It's like Royden was talking about, like, the people that need to watch this movie are not watching this movie because they think it's a bunch of liberal coastal elite garbage, which, I mean, as a liberal, yeah, it is. But like, it just, like, it was funny. Like, I thought it was funny, but like, just the whole time I was like, God, like, I feel like sometimes satire should be a little more subtle, just because it's like, you don't want it to be like winking at the camera every 5 seconds. And I thought that this movie really, like, every 2.5 minutes was like looking at the camera and being like, you got the joke, right? You got it? All right, let's move on.
Choking you to death, like, you understand the joke? You get it?
Yeah, Meryl Streep had me in a chokehold and was like, I'm Trump. I am Lady Trump. And I was like, I get it. Let me go, Meryl. But also I was like, don't let me go, Meryl. Hold me tighter. But yeah, Meryl Streep had me in a chokehold and was like, I'm Trump. I am Lady Trump. And I was like, I get it. Let me go, Meryl. Hold me tighter. But also I was like, don't let me go, Meryl. Hold me tighter. Meryl. Hold me tighter. I don't know. I'm just like I wanted to like this movie. I saw this movie in theaters like 2 weeks before it came out on Netflix, and I was like,
Okay.
oh, this
I
is
gotta
gonna
ask. I'm sorry to interrupt.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
100 emoji if you saw this movie on Netflix, and peace emoji if you saw it in theaters. Derek, I'm really excited that you saw this movie in theaters. I'm always like super, super, super into people who are like watching movies in theaters that are available at home because I do it too.
Yeah.
But peace emoji if you watch it in theaters. 100 emoji if you watch it on Netflix. Okay.
Well,
So
yeah,
you're not
no,
the only one. Okay.
no,
Go ahead.
for sure. We're a small army, but we're out there.
Yeah, we definitely are.
The only time that I didn't do that was with the newest Matrix movie, which I loved, by the way. LOL at all of y'all that hated it.
Oh, okay.
Shut
Well,
up, Roy to God. Let me have my opinions.
Oh God, Derek. Oh no.
I know.
Go ahead. It's
sorry.
all right.
I blew up on this space. No, yeah, that's really like I thought Leonardo DiCaprio was fine. This is not winning any awards for me personally. I love Jennifer Lawrence. I want to see her in more things. I am Jennifer Lawrence hive through and through. She can do no wrong in my eyes.
What sold you?
She's hot.
Oh my God.
That's fair. Let's hear him out.
Listen,
No, this is
I disagree.
Can I speak? Can I
disagree?
speak? Listen, if I did, okay, I didn't like the Urban Outfitters blunt bang she had going on, but she looked like an Earthbound manager. Like, what was I supposed to do?
Oh my God.
I just want to know if that was written in, or was like, how did they decide that that was her hairstyle and it was going to be like a point in the movie to talk about it a lot?
She looks like she smells like crystals.
Oh,
she smells like moon water and dragon's blood incense.
I just want to say there are
oil
enough.
BO.
Thank you so much, Derek.
Yeah.
I want to say there are enough boys up here. I want to hear some girlies talk. Samantha,
Me too.
welcome. All right, buddy. Samantha,
Hey,
welcome.
Sam. How are you? Thank you for having me.
You're very welcome.
Thank you so much, Miss Peaches. I wanted to respond to Geraldo when he talked about. I don't know how I felt about this movie. I'm sorry. I'm still processing it, but I thought that actually Leonardo DiCaprio was well cast because he's an almost 50-year-old man, and his wife was age appropriate, and I was just kind of like, she's younger than he is. You know what I mean? It's like you're just so used to. Even me, I was like so used to. I was like thinking of him and Jennifer Lawrence, but he was age appropriate, and I feel like it's like fighting the patriarchy a little that he was with a woman that it's like, oh, okay, that guy, like Leonardo DiCaprio, be honest. Leonardo DiCaprio, as he looks as a almost 50-year-old man, would be with that woman in Minnesota? Yes, they would be together. That would
Michigan.
be Michigan.
True.
Okay, I'm sorry.
True.
I'm sorry. But yeah, but he would be with that woman. They're just like regular looking. I like that he was just regular looking. And I think that it also made a wonderful point about how, and I'm not like super feminist or anything, but it's just like it made like a point about how, the woman was the one who discovered it. She's the one that was doing the work. She was the one that was really focused, and he was the one that became like the guy that everybody wanted to.
This is why I wanted the girlies to speak up. This is what I'm talking about.
Mo.
Excellent.
Yeah, it was so. I felt like it was so deep because it was just kind of like, first of all, he was not prepared to quote unquote lead. He was not like in a position. He was just like mediocre white man. You know what I mean? He was just kind of like, oh, I'm here, and people are like, okay, let me just fixate everything on you, and you are the leader, and you are the one that will guide us. And
As a mediocre white man,
yeah, you're
people are obsessed with mediocre
right,
white men on TV. It's weird.
I'm gonna throw Derek a bone here very reluctantly, but it's like if Jennifer could have played the hot girl scientist that was the one that was on the media too, but since she spoke her mind, she gets fucking outcast.
They
so
also
I'm glad you caught that and said that. Go ahead, Ray.
Yeah, the podcast part of it. Sorry, we didn't talk about. They named the whole thing. she doesn't even get a say in it. They just name the whole thing that's going to destroy the planet after her. The DBS keep silent. So
Yes.
this entire time,
But
she's
you know
like,
what? That was like
"You're a witch.
they
You're bringing
actually
down the
spun
comet
it.
to Earth."
The thing is, they actually spun it because as a scientist, like that was what everybody was celebrating in the beginning for her, was that like she gets to name this after herself because she discovered it, and they
And then she
spun it to
doesn't.
make her like the villain of it. It's just it was actually
I'm so glad you
that
said
was
that.
magnificent,
It
like how
really
they
was.
it really was, it
It
really
was
was.
perfect.
It was perfect. I mean, like, I don't know how I felt about the rest of the movie. Like, I didn't like the movie at first, and as it kept going, I was like, I kind of like this. I kind of like this. You know what I mean? I
Yeah,
like,
like it's fun. You appreciate it, right? Like,
yeah.
like I had a good time.
Somebody was
Whatever.
really, thinking there. Even when they come for Oglethorpe, and he's just kind of like, I just have more melanin. Chill out, just please don't kill me right now. You know what I mean? It was just, it
Yes.
was very like on the nose, but in a way that somebody who knows what's up was writing it. You know what I mean?
Hell yeah, you do.
But yeah,
Thank you,
I
Samantha.
actually love that like Leonardo DiCaprio's wife was age appropriate and looked like she would be with Leonardo DiCaprio if they lived in Michigan and he was a teacher. You know what I mean? Just a
Hell yeah.
regular dude. Like, yeah,
No.
Leonardo DiCaprio
That's
is like
why. Here's the
an older
thing.
man.
This
You
is
know what I
that's
mean?
why, and we talked about it earlier. That's why she took him back so easily, and he was able to come back so easily. Like, you two belong together. Like, come on, and especially when the world is ending, you're not going to spend your time with a girl, and that's why they had her leave. What was her name? The
Oh, what is her?
the
Oh,
girl
Kate
that you.
yeah.
Blanchett.
Just
Well,
call her
no,
Megan.
Megan
in
Kelly.
the movie, yeah, like that's why at the end where they were like, we're taking him here, and she was like, no, I'm out. Like, that's how
Yeah.
it really goes. Like,
He was that kind of person, you know what I mean? And it's just kind of like,
yeah.
it was so it was for women, this part of it. This part of it
Hell
was
yeah.
for women, I think. And I was just kind of like, you know what? He went back to his old woman that maybe people are like, I can't see him with, but she loved him and she was ready to take him back and
And
stuff.
she cheated first. So let's just
She
be
did
clear.
cheat first. She got it, but it was so like she was like, I'm not gonna be the victim of you. I did it to you first. It was beautiful. That part was beautiful.
All right, Samantha, one more thing before you go. We got to know, Superbad, good or bad?
No,
Oh,
that's
you're gonna
not
hate
the
me
question. That's not the
that I've
question.
never seen Superbad.
Oh
No, that's fine. You don't
no.
need to see it because it's trash.
No,
All right.
Samantha, go watch it tonight. It's perfect.
But
No,
I'm
you
gonna
don't need
watch
to
it.
do
I'm
that.
gonna
we
watch
have
it.
a
I'm
few
sorry.
we have a few additional people with their hands up. One take. Can you pick between Black Dynamite, Javon, or Brandon? These some people that haven't gotten to speak yet.
Let's go, Brandon.
All right, let's do it. Brandon.
What's good, everybody?
What's up,
Wait, you
Brandon?
guys hear
What
me?
you
What's up,
got
man?
for us?
Yeah,
What
we
you
hear
got
you.
What's
for
up?
us?
Oh, what's up? Big fans of you guys. You guys are awesome. I don't have that much to add. You guys covered a lot of it, but just like two things. So one thing I saw this film in theaters the first time. I've seen it twice. I saw it in theaters the first time, and then I saw it on Netflix. One thing I did notice the second time was that I think Timothy Chalamet should do more comedy. I thought he was hilarious in that small role he had. And then also I noticed it's funny we say Adam McKay is not subtle, but I felt like the reaction to Jennifer Lawrence's character having a meltdown and to Leo's character, I saw a difference with those, and I feel like that was like a subtle commentary on how we react to like women and men and women. I don't know if that's what he was going for, but that's what I felt when I
Hell
watched it the
yeah.
second time.
No,
And I
that's
thought
good.
that was kind of cool that he did that. And then the second thing was to kind of piggyback off what Dex was saying about how the Oscars, nobody could really predict it. That's 100% true, especially this year. You got all these critics acting like they know what's going to happen. They really don't. But however, I will say this. I would not be surprised if this film was nominated for Best Picture because Hollywood loves these type of movies.
Do they?
And I feel like yes.
I think they do. I
Yes,
agree with
I
Brandon.
feel like they do. I feel like they love these type of movies. And The one review I saw on Letterboxd, it was hilarious. It was like one sentence, kind of made me think this. It said it described "Don't Look Up" as like the Gal Gadot Imagine video for when COVID first hit.
Yeah.
And ever since I saw that, I'm like, yeah, this film's gonna get nominated.
I don't.
So yeah,
it will be nominated. That's a good point. But the Gal Gadot thing is.
That's incredible.
Yeah, absolutely. Just a bunch of stars.
Yeah, ever since I saw that, I was like, no,
better.
This film's definitely gonna get.
I think it will be nominated just because we just don't have the standout sort of runaway. We don't have like a Lord of the Rings Return of the King and the one wins like 11 Oscars and is renowned as one of the best films of all. We just don't have that, and so I think it'll be like you'll see like
excuse
one
me,
of
Roy.
these things.
We have Spider-Man No Way Home. And
it's not going to be even nominated for Best Picture.
Oh, brother.
It's going to win 13 Oscars. Thank you so much.
It will not even be nominated.
Andrew Garfield, Best Supporting Actor campaign. We're doing it. He's going to get it.
I actually respect that. Let the underdog get his shine. Go ahead.
No, I just think like you're right. It will be nominated. But if you want a film about climate change that went completely under the radar, it's called Take Shelter. It was a film from like 2011, and so as far as like climate change goes, I'm not quite sure that people that Hollywood has quite embraced the climate change movie. I mean, the newest Noah movie that Darren Aronofsky made, which was bad, was about climate change, and like that didn't even do anything. So I don't know if I think it'll get nominated because of who made it and who's in it, but like as far as like the climate change thing, I don't think people. But my recommendation for those of you who want to watch it, it's on Amazon. It's called Take Shelter. It's by the guy that did Mud, that Matthew McConaughey movie. It's very, very good.
I stand behind you on that one. Hell yeah.
You're right. Actually, you're right. You're right, because when you say it's because of the cast and Adam McKay, that would be the reason why it would get nominated.
I don't know. Again, I really appreciate Dex saying this in the beginning, that the Oscars, we don't really know what's going on. They don't really know what's going on anymore either, to be honest with you. Like the way we're consuming and watching movies and experiencing them is just very different. But yeah, I'm with you, Royden. I don't know that they don't love this kind of movie, because there is a kind of movie that they love, and it isn't. First of all, it isn't a comedy. That's always been an issue there, but they do love the elements of the comedy, and I see why you would say that. But like the climate change, bipartisan, like attempt to challenge certain things, like they don't always love that.
Although they know where this is going to clean up. The Golden Globes is going to eat this shit up.
There you go. Like, there's better places for this movie to win.
They do love a commentary on media in Hollywood. They do love that.
They do, but it can't be too much, and it can't be like too well done. Like, it has to be like a promising young woman approach, where it's like, this is
a movie that stinks.
Yeah. Right, exactly. They love that movie. Anyway,
can I go before we go?
I like that movie. I'm sorry.
Can I go to what Samantha said? Because she said something that I thought was super important.
Oh, it is. Thank you.
I love when you take a movie and you put a movie star in the middle of a movie, but you're also making a commentary about the movie star, like the real person. And that's why Leo is cast, right? The reason why, when Marcus is not in the room anymore, but when he was watching this movie, he texted me and said, "Oh my God, like I literally forgot how old Leo was, because every time we see him, he looks young, and in his real life, he dates like 19-year-old women." So it does feel weird to see him with a normal-looking white woman, but like that's the point. That's why that makes so much sense, and I love that she made that point of like, no, it's not weird because Leo is like too good-looking to date that woman. It's weird because we don't ever see Leo standing next to somebody his age, and he's always trying to not look his age. So like this movie went out of the way to make him look his age, and I love when that happens.
Thank you. And Samantha, thank you, and I really appreciate Samantha saying that too, because it goes to the point I was saying earlier. Y'all got a little touchy, but like, the guy's not in his prime anymore. He's not the hot guy anymore. There's a lot of other hot guys. And so when he used to be hot, it used to just speak for itself. But then this movie like did the on the nose thing and was like, he's a hot doctor. Look at this hot guy. There's like women commenting the whole time that he's so hot. But like, yeah, no, you're supposed to be with this woman that looks like this, very regular, mad regular, 2 sons, regular ass house, regular dining table, like, you're a doctor, like that's the thing, that's what you look like, and that's where it's supposed to be. So yeah, but I like that they played with the fact that Leo used to be, or again, if you think he still is, good for you, but he used to be the hot guy. So like, yeah, I see him on, oh, he's so Dr. Dreamy. Who's the guy Dr. Dreamy on Grey's Anatomy? Like they tried to run
McDreamy?
that. Yeah,
Patrick
McDreamy.
Dempsey.
They tried to run that like angle on it, which I thought was funny. It was satirical. It was funny.
Can I
I know.
add something else? Can I just add one other thing? I feel like it's a psychological study, because are those men really dreamy? You know what I mean? Like, because Leonardo DiCaprio really didn't look good in this movie, but everybody put that kind of image on him.
That was
and
the
it's
point.
Yeah, that was the point, but it's just kind of like, I think that it's a question of, is it just like any man in a suit can put on a suit and not even really do his hair, and it's like, oh my God, but
No,
you're
but
cute, kind of.
he's better looking than any astronomer that you'll ever find from Michigan State. I can guarantee you that.
That's not a high bar, but yeah, I know. We're gonna take a couple more questions and comments. And please don't forget that when you come up here, Superbad or Don't Look Up, and just tell us why you love Jonah Hill. Oh, did I throw that in there on accident? Oh, my bad. Tell us why you love Jonah Hill. Javon has been very patient. I want to let him speak. Is that your name, Javon? Javon?
Yes, it is. Hey guys, how you doing? Hey, doing. So this movie caught me by surprise. I was just at work, at my desk, and I just popped it on, and then it's like the first 10 minutes got me. If it wasn't for the pandemic and how everything, transpired, I would not have agreed with this movie. But seeing how everything's getting politicized, it was right on the nose. I'm gonna say 2 points. Point one, I think the point was to get all these Academy acclaimed actors in this movie, because if we had the same Will Ferrells and whatnot, it wouldn't be taken as seriously. So I think the whole meta commentary was, yes, we're gonna get all these big name actors in this movie, so it can have like a level of seriousness. So you have to pay attention. So I thought Meryl Streep, Leonardo DiCaprio was good in their roles with Jennifer Lawrence, and just everybody. Everybody was good. So, and then what also hit home was I was listening to another podcast the week before I saw the movie, and someone brought up Neil deGrasse Tyson. And he was like, there are 3 things that worry me that we can try to take care of, but we don't. Number 1, as we all know, climate change. We're doing a horrible job at that. Number 2 was an asteroid hitting us, taking us out, because actually we only watch 20% of the sky with all of our satellites on Earth. We only watch 20% of the sky. And number 3 is super volcanoes. We have the technology to vent these volcanoes to make sure they don't erupt, but we don't. So it's like the whole meteor coming to Earth and like for us catching it, that was funny to me. It's like, oh yeah, this is probably how we're all gonna go out. And it's just like, I feel like this movie was just looking into the future, and it's like, this is how the human race is gonna go out, and we're just all gonna look like fools.
Well, I wasn't worried about super volcanoes, but thank you.
No problem. No problem.
Thank you. But Black Dynamite, go ahead. What?
Hold on, real quick. Superbad was kind of ruined for me because everybody like hyped it up when they was like, "Oh, it's such the best movie ever."
No,
so when I saw it, I was like, "I don't get it."
No.
Thank you.
No, this is terrible. But Black Dynamite and Sweetie Tay Pie, and then we'll wrap it up. Thank you, Javon. Except for the last thing you said, no, thank you for that. Black Dynamite.
How y'all doing tonight? My real name is, username is Jay Tillion. First off, Jonah Hill's funny. Second off, in between Superbad and Don't Look Up, if you was telling me what movie to put on in the background while I take an afternoon nap, I'll probably say Superbad, maybe.
Snoozer.
Wait. Do you mean it's gonna put you to sleep? Like, what are we doing?
That's a good thing to me. Like, a movie that I could put on is a good thing. Wait a minute, right. What's happening here?
Because I've seen Superbad and I've seen Don't Look Up, and I'll watch like maybe half of Superbad and probably fall asleep. But Look Up, I'm probably gonna want to watch it fully because I'm not gonna be thinking
This is awesome.
okay, this is happening. But anyway, back to the movie.
I'll be waiting. That's all I want to say. We back up.
I thought that Don't Look Up was the first 10 minutes. I was taking it serious because I thought that Adam McKay wasn't gonna Vice the movie a little bit. You know, I like Vice, but I want it to be a little bit more. You know, not the captions, but as soon as he put the captions on there to explain that there was an actual real government agency that looked at asteroids out in space, I was like, crap. Because I kind of thought this movie was going to be a little bit serious, but a little bit comedy, but I still took it on the nose. I don't think it was a liberal push for liberal people. I mean, people from liberal. I don't think it was a push from the liberal side, I would say, to tell everybody to look up and wake up. This is what's going to happen because, you know, we got the news for that and we got Twitter and we got everybody just randomly saying it at parties and kickback about, you know, what have happened if, you know, the ice melt and stuff like that. And we joke about it. So I don't think this movie was going to be the final kicker or the final push off the cliff to get people to say, okay, I need to wake up. But of course, we're going to get people to talking because it's on Netflix. It's on Netflix, and you know everybody watch Netflix. Everybody, their mama and their daddy, and everybody, you know, going to say if it's something funny, they like it. They're going to say, "Hey, you watch that movie on Netflix?" Just like Bird Box movie. That movie wasn't all that hyped up to be, and everybody watched it because everybody kept saying you watched that movie, and none of them could talk. But I thought the movie was decent. A little bit on the nose, a little bit teaching, but not too pushy like you think it would be for Adam McKay. A little less Vice, but a little bit better than Vice. But you know, I like Vice, which is ironic.
It's interesting. No one else likes Vice on the One Take Pod. Did any of y'all like Vice?
No, that's not. I love Vice. Don't do that.
Oh, you love Vice.
Vice is actually bad. Thank you.
Yeah, I actually like. I know Vice is not accurate, historically accurate from what I've seen on YouTube and being break down, but I mean, I have these moments with Vice, but I like it just from how it's angled. Anyway, back to the movie. I thought Leo was like y'all was saying about the age thing, because to be honest with you, if Will Ferrell would have did that movie, nobody probably would even look at it or probably took it serious because everybody would assume that Will Ferrell would have been like the crazy scientist just yelling at everybody or something like that. So maybe people would have took it serious, but probably not really. Or they probably thought that he was doing Stranger Than Fiction type of series.
Nice. Yeah,
So
I think it's resounding with what a lot of us have said on the podcast too, and I really appreciate your commentary on that. Royden, you were about to say something? I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I feel like this, you know, they have all these things in here where they're like, we want y'all to take this seriously because we have all these huge stars, and obviously I said earlier, this is what Leo does. Like, this is his one true calling in life besides dating 22-year-olds. And it screams of that meme from Arrested Development, where the magicians are all behind a sign that says, "We demand to be taken seriously." That's what this kind of feels like, because yeah, like all these huge actors and stuff, but like, let me tell you right now, from a super Republican area of Texas, I come from like deep East Texas. They don't give a damn what Meryl Streep says about anything. So like, I just don't think like or Leonardo DiCaprio, they're gonna be like, he doesn't pay my bills, and like that's, you know, that's just what it is. So I just think that the people that were gonna watch this, and the people that aren't very much aren't. Maybe they'll pop it on accident because it comes up on the flash screen on Netflix, but I think like it's we demand to be taken seriously thing. Not to disagree with you that like it shouldn't be something that we do take very seriously, but I just think like, well, everyone in this space, we all know. I mean, we know. It's just like that's
right. Thank you, Black Dynamite. Yeah, no, I fully agree. Thank you.
Oh, I was going to say about J Law, but yeah, never mind. My bad.
Thank you so much. No, thank you. Tej, you're unmuted and it's loud. What's going on? What you got going on?
There are two kinds of people in the world. There are people that like Vice, and then there are people that like Dick Cheney. There are only two. You have to choose.
Oh, don't
do this.
Don't do this. Don't do this. Oh no, Black Dynamite, you were thrown a bone there. So good, good on that. I guess Black Dynamite's on the right side of things. We got a couple minutes left. I want to let Sweetie Tay Pie speak. We just got a couple minutes, baby. What do you got to say for Don't Look Up?
I always love that you say my name that way. It's so cute. Thanks for having me, and thanks for having this space. I'm just like a casual film person, so my observations from the movie, it was okay. I didn't love it. I didn't hate it. As somebody who watches or watched Deep Impact and like Armageddon in 2012, it was satisfying to see it not work out for once. So I liked that aspect of it. I thought Jennifer Lawrence's haircut, she should have been from Portland instead of Michigan, and that would have maybe been more realistic for her character. Because Michigan is just full of like weird ass Midwestern people too. And I'm from Buffalo, so I can say that because we have
from the
weird
people
ass
from Making a
Midwestern people
Murderer.
too. What?
I said it's full of people from Making a Murderer.
Yeah, like it just, I don't know, her personality and the haircut of what they were trying to get across, I don't think it worked as well as it could have if they just made her from like Portland, because she's supposed to be all hipstery. And
Listening to Wu-Tang, definitely, yeah.
All these movies, whenever there's a black president or a woman president, why is the world always ending when that happens? And those are my.
That is a great point.
That's an excellent point. See, we're asking the right questions now. We're challenging the way, and maybe they knew that too in the writer in the room when they were creating this movie. So Thank you. And your name is Sweetie Pie. Sweetie Pie? I don't know.
It's Tay.
Tay. Okay. The Spaces only shows me like the name, so I gotta like decide what people want to go by. Okay. But thank you so much. Great takes. Thank you. Thank you guys for joining What We Watch, One Take Pod. We love you guys. Thank you for joining. Any last words outside of Dex? We won't let Dex talk. That's all right. We can do anything else but
Good
that.
decision. All right, we're gonna kick Dex. No, yeah. Again, go follow us at One Take Pod. We really appreciate you coming on these things. We're gonna try to do more of these in the future. And by the way, we already had some people mention a couple movies that they want us to do or have in the past. So we are. We'll do anything. So if you have like a movie that is itching to be talked about or even slandered, because that's sometimes what we end up doing, send it our way. We'll take a look at it for sure.
I just want to say thank you to Mo for having us. We love What We Watch. Everybody, we probably already follow What We Watch, but we love Mo for having us. This was amazing. Can't wait to be in more spaces. I'll be around.
Hell yeah. Thank you so much. And I hope that the more you guys start doing these spaces too, that we can really get the good takes, because I like how y'all are not afraid to say something is bad. And I love it. So heck yeah. Samantha, we're gonna shut this down, but baby, please tweet me or DM me anything that you wanted to say, and hashtag What We Watch, and again, follow One Take Pod. Thanks, you guys. We're gonna close this out. Bye.